I'm prepping this subfloor to install oak flooring. I start by sweeping up the debris left over from carpet removal and drywall work. I hammer down every nail I can see to make sure none are sticking up. I scrape up any remaining staples, drywall mud, paint, anything that isn't flat. I've left the door on for this part and have a box fan in the window to help extract the dust. I have to grind down the seams between the subfloor panels because some of the edges are proud by as much as 1/8 of an inch. I don't want to propagate that into the new flooring. I'm also grinding the edges around the walls because there's a lot of texture overspray. Now that the floor is flat and nothing is sticking up, I'm sweeping up as much as I can to avoid clogging the vacuum filter, then vacuuming the rest up with a brush wand. We're on the second story, so I'm not worried about moisture, but I'm still laying down vapor barrier to help the boards slide together during installation. It also makes it easy to see any debris that might cause problems. The dusty part is over, so I remove the door to get it out of the way. For the entry, I measure the width and how many rows I'll need. Then I take a bundle of wood over to the chop saw to measure and cut all those pieces at once. The first piece needs to be notched around the doorway, then I nail the rest in. I'm using a laser to project the line from the entryway across the room, then measuring to the exterior wall to see if I need to make any adjustments. I'm happy with my line, so I mark the boards that will need to be notched around the wall for the starting row and cut them. I'm blind nailing the tongues with a 15 gauge, being careful to keep them aligned with the laser. I put some spline into the groove side of the boards to turn it into another tongue, then use the cleat nailer to secure the back side. After that, I nail the front side again since the cleats will hold better than the 15 gauge finish nails. Once the starting row is lined up and fastened, I can start racking out boards for the installation. I try to find boards that are just barely longer than the gap at the end of the row to minimize waste. I can cut longer boards and use the remaining piece to start the next row, but it's quite a bit slower. After a while, you get pretty good at spotting the right board out of the pile. By laying out the boards in advance, I can make sure the joints are staggered and there aren't any eye-catching patterns. In the end, the floor should look even and blend into the background. If any boards have a color or grain pattern that's too distinct, I'll use them in the closet where they won't be as visible. I'm also checking for any defective or damaged boards. Sometimes boards have splits or milling defects, and sometimes they get damaged in transit. The earlier I can catch any problems, the easier they'll be to fix. Thanks for watching. Bye.